It just keeps happening. I tell myself, girl, you have way too many stupid lip products. Use the lip products that you have. You don't need more lip products. And then I see somebody review something online, and then I buy it. Now, I did not get every shade, because I don't need every shade, and I thought that would be a little bit wasteful, so I got the shades that I thought I'd be the most interested in, and I figured if there was any shades in here that I didn't like, I'd get them to my sister. I did buy 2 of shade 7, so she already has shade 7. I don't know how I do that. How did I, because I checked, I did order 2. How do I do stuff like that? Anyways, these have been going viral all over TikTok. It seems like as I scroll through my For You page on TikTok, all I see are people reviewing these Judydoll lip products. These are the watery lip gloss, and most of it is in Chinese, so I have no idea what's going on or what's in here, anything like that. I haven't been hit with a tariff charge so far, so maybe Judydoll is dealing with that themselves on their end, as opposed to just pushing it onto the consumer. So, or TikTok is. It'll be interesting to see if later on I'll get a bill. I saw a video of a lady who ordered something from ASOS, and she got a bill in the mail for the tariff charges. So we'll see. I figured we could swatch some of the shades that I got and then do a long wear test and see if these are worth it. So starting from lightest to darkest, because it did say that these are a stain. They listed like a bunch of things, you know, kind of like all the different keywords. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually do stain. Stains that kind of went viral on the internet was these bad boys from, what is this, Peri, and they don't really stain. They're definitely a tint, they're definitely a velvet lipstick, and I think they're one of the better ones that I've ever tried as far as velvet lipsticks go. But they're just, I wouldn't call it a stain. Maybe if I had gotten a less already my lip color type of thing, but I saw other people complaining about that in the reviews, that they're not really a stain, so I think it's a common thing. But of course, your natural lip pigment affects how well it's going to stain too. If you have really pink lips, you may not notice much of a stain. Right, so this is the lightest shade that I got. It looked kind of like a peachy shade. This is shade 6. It doesn't say the names on the boxes. I think they had names, so I'll have to put it somewhere because I'm going to have to go and look it up when I'm editing. I'm sure it says the name, it just says it in Chinese, which I can't read. So, and you'll notice that it does have a metal applicator. I give it to my sister. She's like, "Did you know it's metal? Is that supposed to be metal?" I was like, "Yeah." But I imagine this is maybe a little bit less wasteful because it's not going to absorb any of the product. We'll see. I'm already doing this wrong. I think I'm already doing this wrong. I don't think this is the lightest shade. This one's supposed to be the lightest shade, which is 08. So shade 8 is definitely the lightest, so we're going to start with that. Yeah, there we go. This is, I remember being the lightest shade. The peachy shade. I can see where my sister was saying that, like, it's hard to get an even application. I think it's just technique with this metal applicator. You know, you're not used to it. And I definitely find myself having to take my time to work with it. It definitely feels watery. It feels like a very lightweight gloss. It's not heavy. It's not sticky. If you have sensory issues, I think you'll like this. But this is shade 08. On me, it's definitely my lips, but better. It's not quite so orange. And that's what it looks like when it wiped off. I think it's stained ever so slightly, just because it's such a light color. My lips are so pink. A little bit difficult to tell, but I do think it's stained. Watch me not want to give, like, any of these to my sister.
Fine.
Which one would be next? Definitely shade 6, would be next on the lightest to dark. Oh, I do lightest to dark just because these do stain, just so we can try to get a sense of the colors. Brown or orange. So if you like more, I feel like it's summer versus more like a fall color. This with like a brown lip liner. Yeah, I'd love that. Alright, and this one is shade 6. I'll put the actual name somewhere on the screen. Very similar to the first one. I would just say a little darker, a little browner. I don't know if their staining power is really like that crazy as compared to other stains that I've tried, but it's definitely there. It's definitely staining my lips. Maybe we should try the little micellar water powder just to kind of reset. Yeah, you can see there was definitely stuff left on my lips. So right now we have shade 7. Can't get over the applicator. It's just like so sci-fi and so futuristic. I really like it. That was shade 7. You can see that there has been a difference between the sticker and my lips. And then you can see when you actually look at the actual product. So I wouldn't say that the stickers really reflect the color through no fault of their own. I see that a lot with like a lot of products. I don't know if is that like the true color, like if you put it like against like a white background, so no color theory involved. Is that what it looks like? So I don't know. And here's what it looks like, all wiped off. Definitely very beautiful. I need to move my light. I don't think it's completely scrubbing off. I think it is actually like staining my lips. Like, I would need more than just like an exfoliating pad and micellar water to fully get this off. Shade 10. Oh, I'm most excited for shade 10. We'll see though. So again, here is shade 10. This one looks pretty true to the sticker. I actually think they did a good job with that one. If I ever got like lip blushing, this is what I would want my lips to be. I feel like I've said this before, but this is definitely the shade. So now I feel like we need to just like put it on and wear it. People were saying that like the glossiness doesn't really go away. I don't know if I believe that. So we'll check in when I get back from errands, see how it looks. So that'll be more like midday, and then we'll check in at the end of the day and we'll see what this looks like. I want to see, is the gloss still there? That's the main thing. This is the main thing that everyone was saying about how the gloss like stays, and that's the one thing that like when you get a lot of glossy lip stains, like you get the e.l.f. glossy lip stains or the NYX ones, the gloss, you're lucky if it lasts. I would say with the e.l.f. ones, it's gone within like 30 to 45 minutes. I think the NYX ones last slightly longer, just slightly, not a lot, but nothing that could like last like hours type of thing. People were acting like this was like something you could put on and then never have to reapply a gloss. So I'm skeptical. But so yeah, we'll come back at the end of the day and we'll see what this looks like. Alright, so I'm gonna drink some tea. Let's see if it transfers. There's that little teeny bit. That was it. That was pretty good. Maybe it's just not dried down yet. That was pretty good. Right, so for our little conclusion here, I'm going to walk you through some of my findings here for this long lip stain test and my thoughts on this product. Now, I'm going to reapply so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. I don't find it to be too buildable. Like, if you were to put on a first layer, wipe it off, and then apply more, you could build up the underlying pigment of the color. But if you want to build up how glossy it looks, I haven't really experienced a way to, you know, build up that gloss. Like, oh, I want it to look, you know, watery. Anyway, I can't do the watery. Because that's what this is. It's supposed to be like a watery gloss. So it's supposed to be like that watery lip stain. It's supposed to stay watery, aka kind of look, so a glossy water-based lip stain. And a lot of other like gloss lip stains are more of a gel formula as opposed to a water-based formula. Like I do like these from Ulta Beauty, although I think I'm going to replace these as I use these with the new e.l.f. ones. But I want to use these up because I really don't need any more lip stains. I got these because I was like, oh, this is different. I can make a movie, a video about it. Yeah, I like these. These are good. They last all day and they're not patchy. You'll have noticed that with this, it wore a little patchy. Now, I wasn't too sure if it wore patchy because I really over exfoliated my lips doing the back-to-back swatching. So I was like, did I over exfoliate my lips? And my lips were just so dry that it kind of just wasn't penetrating correctly, so it just wasn't looking normal. So I thought, well, maybe that is why it was patchy. So I'm putting it on today. This is the exact same color that I had on before. This is shade 10. So we'll see if it looks patchy at the end of the day. And because I'm not swatching back and forth, and I had applied some Vaseline to my lips beforehand, as well as after the Vaseline I'd also applied a lip oil. So my lips should be very well hydrated. I'll probably also, as I go, okay, I highly doubt that's the same angle, but it probably is good. But throughout the day, I'll probably reapply this lip oil, because I did find it drying, but again, maybe that's because I just over-exfoliated my lips. So, my lips were so dry, I was just, so miserable by the end of the day. My lips were just so sad, and it was just so patchy, and I was just a little disappointed and a little upset. Now, when you'll go, and if you go on TikTok and you look at people's reviews, I don't want to call, being mean and call anybody out, I just realized that the packaging is different. Sorry, but see, it's different. This is a silver foil, and this is a gradient, with little water droplets. Anyways, so they'll talk about how it's transfer proof. So when you, and I kind of interpret that as oh, if it's transfer proof, does the gloss stay all day? Does that mean the watery glossiness has some staying power, meaning it's going to at least last a few hours? But you'll notice that when I checked in halfway through the day, that it was, it was, again, already had worn quite patchy, and no wateriness, no gloss, whatever you want to call it, that was completely gone from my lips. It was nowhere to be found. So, should be dry. I think I've been talking enough. See how much of that I end up editing out. Let's take a sip of my tea. I think it's cold now, so that's fantastic. Let's get rid of the dribble. But you can see, did not transfer. So, and that's what they show on TikTok. Oh, it didn't transfer. But again, this wateriness, my experience was it didn't last. And I really tried to pack it on this time just to see, did I just, not apply enough? Because that's another variable. Maybe I just didn't apply enough. Because sometimes with products, technique can matter for individual products and stuff. So you kind of gotta play around with stuff and know what you're doing. That's why you know, first impression videos can be great, but sometimes it's good to also use a product and revisit it and just see and play around with how you're using it, because sometimes maybe you can just tweak how you did it and then you'll end up liking it. So let's see. We're going to come back again midday. Let's see. Is it still kind of watery? You can see it's not like, I don't know if like I would call that like a gloss, but like there's definitely, yeah, there's definitely something like kind of like there to my lips.
3 hours later.
Insert footage. I do think that this time it didn't wear as patchy. I think with my first long wear test, because I had over exfoliated my lips from swatching, doing the swatches back to back, I think my lips were just like dry and screaming for help. So I think that's why it wore a little bit more patchy. This time it didn't wear as patchy. So it ended up wearing just like any other, again, like any other lip stain. So nothing new, nothing I would say that's revolutionary other than that transfer proofness. So, but because it doesn't last, you still end up having to reapply. And if you reapply the stain, it's going to change the color underneath. Just know it will, you know, will affect it, will get a little bit brighter. So if you're happy with the color underneath, it'd be better to reapply a tinted lip oil or something clear, something sparkles, you know, something else. If you want to enhance the pigment underneath, you could actually reapply this product. So up to you, you can play around with that, you know, that's all personal preference right there. But although I will say you definitely get a little bit more product, like, yeah, the e.l.f. ones are cheaper, but you do get more product with the Judydolls. I think it's pretty comparable to the NYX ones, because you have to realize that this packaging is a little bit more bulkier than the NYX. So pretty comparable to the NYX ones from a price comparison perspective, especially if you're able to get these on sale. I think they're normally, what, like $16, so if you don't get them on sale, NYX is definitely cheaper. NYX does do the occasional, like, you can buy 2, get 1 free, or you know, they do stuff like that. So I would say that, so you can get sales on NYX via Ulta. So I would say that maybe just stick with the NYX ones if you like a glossy stain. But again, the NYX ones isn't transfer proof. I just didn't think that the transfer proof ones, I just think it was kind of end up being overhyped on TikTok. That aspect of it ended up being a bit of a letdown. Yeah, it's cool, and it's kind of cool for a video to show, oh, it's transfer proof, you know, like, drink, look at my cup, it's transfer proof. Yeah, thumbnail right there. But I wouldn't say that these are necessarily anything revolutionary enough that you have to go out and spend your money on them, unless you want to, of course. Do what you want. But, you know, again, I'd be more impressed if the gloss lasted longer than, you know, an hour or 2, you know. I don't know how to end the video. Alright, see you in the next one. Bye.